Hello again, it's been a while. The Fujifilm X100V. It seems like everybody and their mum has got one of these or is talking about one of these cameras at the moment. But is it all that it's cut out to be? Today I'm going to go through 5 things I don't like about this camera. The first one is autofocus. For the price that you pay for this camera, I would really expect something a little bit more. It just seems to miss focus a little bit too often for what you would expect. When it gets it in focus, you know, it's nice and sharp, it's great, but for what you're paying and what you expect, it's really not up to scratch. And for the next version in the X100 line, I'd really expect this to be improved. It does the job, but it's definitely not 100%. Next is in the same vein as autofocus, it's the manual focus. Manual focusing with this lens is really just something that you can't do. It must be a focus by wire motor or something, but it really just is so difficult to use. I don't have much more to say on this. It's just really difficult to use, and it's not something that I do often. And when I do it, I do so with great difficulty. I don't know how that could be improved for the next camera, but I really wish it would be. The next one is a small gripe, but it's definitely worth mentioning. It's the screen and EVF quality. It seems like when you shoot images and you're looking at them on the back screen or through the EVF, they look reasonably different to how you see them when you put them on a big screen, like a laptop or even on your phone. So I'd really wish that the screen and EVF quality was just at a higher quality. It needs to be put up a par for the next version of this camera. It's not bad by any means, but again, for the price that you're paying, it definitely should be a little bit better. And that brings us on to the next point, which is the price. This is a very expensive camera for what it is. I'm in the very privileged position to be able to afford one, but not a lot of people are. And for a camera that's fixed lens, has fewer features than other cameras that can be bought in the same price range, it's about £1,400 in the UK, and it should really be no more than £1,000 in my opinion. But it's not like Fuji can't get that amount for this camera. It's very well renowned, it's very popular, and people are definitely going to pay that much. That said, you can get one secondhand, say on eBay, for £1,000, 1,100 quid. I know a couple of people who've gotten them for like £800-900, which is great, and more in the realm of what I would expect to pay for a camera like this. But we know what the world's like at the moment with supply chain issues and, you know, inflation and all the rest of it. So it's a minor gripe, but it is an overarching one. And I would like to think that this would be improved in the next version, but I'm doubtful. And finally, if you've used this camera, you know exactly what I'm going to say here. It's the Wi-Fi connectivity. It's pretty much non-existent. I mean, when it does work, it works perfectly fine. But you would like to think, you know, we're in an age now where things like this, something as simple as like a Wi-Fi connectivity to your phone, should just work without a hitch. It should be a non-issue. And it really is. It like really holds this camera back. I mean, I recommend this camera to everybody, but it's the only thing that where I say, yes, it's very good and you'll enjoy using it and everything else, but the Wi-Fi is the way around this seems to be to get a USB SD card reader thing for your phone. I haven't got one. I need to get one. I'm sure it'll solve all of my issues. But again, for the price that you're paying for this camera, I would really expect something as simple as a Wi-Fi connection to just work and not have to fight it every time that you want to use it. One final thing, which actually makes this 6 things that I don't like about this camera, is the lack of IBIS. When I've heard other people say, oh, I really wish this camera had IBIS, I thought, well, no, it's mainly a stills camera. Why would you want that? But I think it would just elevate this camera just to another level, especially with the price point. Shooting at like a 15th of a second, it's really difficult to get an image sharp. For a camera that's used by a lot of people as a street photography camera, where you want to get like maybe some blurring subjects like cars or people or something, a 15th or an 1/8 of a second is like kind of where you want to shoot, and it's really difficult to get keepers. So I think IBIS would really help this. It would also help the video side. Video isn't really like a huge feature on this camera, but it works. It's fantastic for what it is, and I think the inclusion of IBIS would just make it like a whole new level and actually be a usable video camera for shorter clips. As I say, not a huge gripe and not something that I'm really annoyed over, but just something that would elevate this camera to like another level, I think. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, if you agree or disagree, or if you have other things that you would change or would like to see improved on the next model of the X100 line. Tap here to see 5 things I love about this camera, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.